Hey, what is up, everybody? This is Stevie Breach coming to you live from the GoHastings.com Wrestle Center, where I used to make my videos back in the day. Today, I was honestly enjoying lunch at Applebee's, getting a little 2 for $20 on, enjoying my hickory barbecue bacon burger, is what I think it was. And I got a text from my good buddy Mike, HBK fan 25, We the Pinko, just telling me all of these changes happening to the TLC card. These are honestly things that I was really shocked by these. I had heard basically that there was not diverticulitis or whatever it was, but there's some huge sort of sickness being spread through the Monday Night Raw team. You know, we had seen people like Bo Dallas, JoJo, and Bray Wyatt all disappear from television over the last week. But I didn't think that this was affecting Roman Reigns at all. I made videos earlier this week doing the full show preview gimmick, talking about how TLC 2017, besides the main event, honestly was a card that didn't really mean a lot. And I can honestly tell you right now that after finding out that Roman Reigns isn't going to appear on the card, that Kurt Angle is returning to WWE, and this is going to be his first match in 11 years. I think that they're sticking Kurt Angle on there as a band-aid for the pay-per-view, and it is probably the one thing that makes the most sense. But at the same time, it is something that makes no sense at all either. I understand them putting Angle in there. It is his first match in WWE in 11 years, since basically being released, fired, quitting, back in the day in 2006, when he was a part of the ECW brand and then showing up in wrestling for TNA. And after a Hall of Fame TNA career, finally coming back home to WWE. I had heard the rumors that Angle plans to wrestle, but I honestly didn't believe that it was going to happen. I thought that was sort of like a dream, sort of like us thinking about Daniel Bryan having a return match and being able to wrestle again. It just seemed like something that WWE wouldn't want to take a chance on with all of the future legal problems that are in the air coming for them, much like is with the veterans of the NFL suing them, and them currently being sued by a lot of former wrestlers over CTE and things like that, just trying to get an easy payday to end their career. Angle is one hell of a dude. When he went into the Hall of Fame, I thought that it was a very fun Hall of Fame. It was very fitting for him to be able to end his career and have that sort of, end of the career thing in WWE, being a return guy. But I honestly didn't think that he would ever wrestle again. I'm very, very surprised that they would let him do that. I think it's going to be fun. I really do think it's going to be fun. But Angle returning on Sunday, we'll have to see, how physical that he does. I know that he was wrestling before he came back to WWE. I'm not sure how much he's been training. There was a rumor that he would wrestle Triple H at WrestleMania, but I'm not sure how ready he is to get into the ring now. I mean, him letting Braun Strowman as well as Kane, making this a 5-on-3 match, and then him adding himself. I don't think they're going to do a heel turn, but it makes him look really dumb right now. But we'll see what happens on Sunday. Angle wrestling in his first match in a long time, and I guess I'm excited to see it. Wow, this is going to be an update to WWE TLC 2017's full show preview. This show really got rocked here in the last 24 hours. Monday Night Raw has had a spread of sickness with the announcer JoJo, as well as performers. Bray Wyatt and Bo Dallas have been missing for the show for the past week. There have been rumors that other people on the roster had been sick. But it seems that this sickness has spread to the main event, and Roman Reigns is going to miss the main event of the TLC 2017. No longer will we be having the Shield main event the show, with Dean Ambrose, Seth Rollins, and Roman Reigns reuniting to take on Team Miz, with Braun Strowman, The Bar, and Kane. we're going to now be getting a returning Kurt Angle to WWE, as well as now a new match added to the show. We now have, I guess you can say, the Battle of the Bullet Club. We have Finn Balor wrestling against AJ Styles from SmackDown. This was probably the only way to save the show. I'm not going to say this is going to save the show either, because the main event to me honestly sounds really stupid with Angle joining the team, and then at the same time, Angle is the guy that made this a handicap match, adding Braun Strowman as well as Kane to the team, sort of now hurting himself in the long run. With him being the GM of Raw, is he going to be able to add people to his team to sort of even out the odds? I mean, this isn't the Survivor Series, but find some way to make it a 5-on-5. If there's anybody out there to help them out. It's going to be fun to see, being a TLC match, how they use the gimmicks in order to improve on the match. To me, the Battle of the Bullet Club really saves a match that I really did not want to see, with the Demon wrestling against Sister Abigail. I think that the match is now just billed as Finn Balor wrestling against AJ Styles. With being a fan of New Japan Pro Wrestling and being a fan of the Bullet Club, this is the first time these guys are going to meet, as well as I think this is the first time these guys are going to be close to being at the same place at the same time with the brand split. This is the first time that this could happen. I'm really looking forward to this one. I think this is going to be a really, really good match. I'm not going to go as far to say that this is going to save the show. I already had big-time questions and marks about it, but at least now there's two matches on this show that I consider must-see television. It's just going to be, what the rest of the stuff is going to be. So we'll see if this saves the show or not on Sunday. On Sunday, we have a new match added to the TLC pay-per-view. No longer will we be getting Sister Abigail wrestling against the Demon, Finn Balor. Now we will be getting a replacement. Bray Wyatt, it was reported last week, him, his brother, and his new girlfriend, I guess you can call her, have came down sick. They're going to be missing the pay-per-view. And honestly, I think WWE knocked it out of the park. They found the one best way to save this match and as well as save the show, bringing AJ Styles over from SmackDown to wrestle against Finn Balor. This is possibly two of the best wrestlers in the world getting together and having a match, which I honestly think is going to be happening for the first time. I've never heard of this match happening on any other stage, whether if it was in New Japan. I don't think they were in New Japan at the same time or on any independent scene, seeing how AJ Styles was in TNA and Finn Balor was in New Japan at the time, before both coming to WWE. This is going to be a really, really good match. I know that they've mentioned New Japan along the way in documentaries and things, but I don't think they've ever really mentioned it on the show. But it'd be fun to see if they do bring that element to the table, as maybe bringing in the club to do something as well, seeing how they're not featured on the show at all. Even if they just make a cameo where they just came out on the stage to watch the match, or if they had some sort of backstage segment with these guys hyping him up and wishing him luck on what is going down. We've always heard rumors of the Balor Club becoming an actual real thing on television. AJ Styles did wrestle with Luke Gallows and Machine Gun Carl Anderson in WWE as the club. So see if maybe these guys are pairing up again. When the brand split happened and AJ was sent from Raw to SmackDown, basically Carl Anderson said that there was not going to be anything that was able to break up the club, that there really were no rules, that if AJ ever needed him, they would show up and answer the call. That has not happened yet in the 2 years since the draft, but maybe this is actually one time that they could pull a rabbit out of their hats. I think this really saves Finn Balor, since coming back from his injury. It's been rumored that he was going to have a match at Survivor Series against Brock Lesnar. That's now going to be a match that's going to be happening against Jinder Mahal. So maybe they're going to do it at a later show that happens. I've heard the Clash of the Champions is going to be happening in December, or maybe even at the Royal Rumble. But, he's a guy that really deserves to be in that main event slot. And this Bray Wyatt thing really quieted him down. If they can just push him out of that angle and into anything else fresh, I think that would be something that would go off really, really well. This is a hard one to pick. I mean, this is the flip of the coin. I haven't seen them use somebody from the other brand to come over since I think that Taboo Tuesday or maybe Cyber Sunday deal where Stone Cold Steve Austin was going to have the match against the Coach. And then once he found out that he was losing against the Coach, suddenly he came down with an injury and had to be replaced by Batista. So this is a fun time in WWE. We'll see what happens on Sunday. WWE now has a new main event for TLC 2017. We're going to have to see what this one means. We had basically added people to Team Miz 2 weeks in a row. At first it was, the Shield reuniting and they would be going up against the Miz, Cesaro, and Sheamus. At one point it was rumored that we were going to see the Miz, Curtis Axel, and Bo Dallas, and so many people crapped all over that. By the next Monday, the Miz had recruited in the bar to replace them. Now, over the last 2 weeks, we've added Braun Strowman. Now we've added Kane. And the Kane thing really came out of left field. That really didn't make any sense at all. But now, here on the last hour before the pay-per-view, basically, Kurt Angle is going to be replacing Roman Reigns. Through a spread of sickness through the Raw locker room, Roman is now not going to be able to wrestle on Sunday's show. I honestly would hope, that, Roman can make some sort of a cameo, pulling the whole, Willis Reed, coming out of the locker room at the last minute to help his fallen brothers, maybe do one spear or something like that, because at this point, Kurt Angle is the GM of Raw. He really has no alignment to, Dean Ambrose as well as, Seth Rollins, besides where he is the babyface GM, and maybe he thinks that he's the one guy that could save this. I don't know honestly how they're going to storyline wise tie him into this match, because now it can't really be billed as the reunion of the Shield, which is the only reason why this match really happened. And Kurt Angle is the guy that basically added Kane and Strowman to the group, unless this is the all-around full circle reveal that Kurt Angle is a heel, or which is a long hop, skip, and a jump in order to make this happen. Kurt Angle hasn't wrestled in WWE in 11 years. I never really honestly thought that he would return, even though there was rumors of him having matches against Rusev. There was rumors of him having matches against Triple H. We've heard tons of Angle rumors over the last year to a few years ago. Now here he is actually going to be making his return, and I don't even really know what it means. I don't know how. I know he wrestled indie matches until the last day basically before he jumped and came back and signed with WWE. Now here he is going to wrestle his first match in WWE, and we don't really know how well he's going to hold up. There's going to be questions about his cardio and his physical stature. I know that the long-term plan that he was always hoping for was him to get back in the ring. But you got to wonder if those were even plans that were actually going to happen. At the pay-per-view, I still pick, Angle and Ambrose and Rollins to win this match. I just don't know how physical Angle's going to be, and hoping that, Roman possibly can do something at the show.